second, yeah. Um, you're mixing your pink with your thinner. We'll make it like a milky consistency. I don't like the way it sounds coming out right now. It's making me think that it's not thinking thin enough. I'm just slowly building the colors up. Ideally, I would have did this all in white first. That's what I should have done, but we're already here. If you was following me yesterday when I went live, you know I constantly was saying over and over, I am not an airbrush artist. I'm just an artist all around. So figure why not go ahead and give it a try? Maybe it'll help speed up my process when I'm creating paintings and stuff, wearable clothing. If I can airbrush it, get the work done, shit, damn near in half the time, for real, as when I'm hand painting everything, takes me forever. Now, another thing I did notice with this airbrush machine that I do got, is cool that it's, you know what I mean, it's quick, you can move around with it, it's cool, but the power doesn't last very long. At least when I was working yesterday, I couldn't get no more than a half hour of work done at a time. after I got my first like hour and a half in, then it died on me. And I laid it charged. I didn't realize that a green light would go off when it was fully charged, so I'm checking out the red light and getting tired of waiting, and I keep on running the machine, and it would die within a half hour. So I let it run for the rest of the. I let it charge all day, and then I seen that when it was fully charged, it did the light would turn green. So we want to see what kind of time we get out of it today. Still using my pinky up against the jacket to keep my distance. Not heavy pressing it, just keep my just close enough so that my nail is touching it. This is my process. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I'm learning as I go. I'm just letting you know what's going on. But yeah, I brought this machine on Amazon a couple days back when I was working on anime James that I finished. I put the order in, but when I did get it in time to use it, but I didn't want to. I was afraid that I was gonna mess up what I already had done with the hand painting, so I just left it alone. But now with me doing this, I'm like, man, I might go back on them Jones and go ahead and hit them up. Get some stuff more solid. Get this hand out the way. I do like this machine. I'm not gonna lie. I just wish that it lasts longer, or that you couldn't actually keep it plugged up. That would be dope too. Like you could use it both ways. Like you can have it wireless, or you can plug it up to power. That would be fire. This is my third attempt at airbrushing. And I'm liking it way more than my first two. I'm gonna be honest. But I have a better understanding with the time that I've had in of just being an artist. Period. I didn't have an understanding of process back then. So as soon as I started to use it, like I would put something by. Well, the first thing I did, I made up a portrait, which is something I tend to do. But I made a portrait up in my head, and I just went on a T-shirt and started working on it. And I kept on like I'm trying to build everything all at the same time. I'm not understanding like, all right, you gotta start with one letter. I mean one color. You know what I mean? Build it up, blend it out with other colors and all that. Now I'm trying to do everything all in one. You know what I mean? All in one layer, and it wasn't working. And I was like, nah, this shit's not for me. I didn't have an understanding of like, yeah, it takes time to build that shit up, bro. It's not gonna be what you want right off the rip. take some time. That's like what I'm doing right now. Years ago, if I'd have did this and I got to this process, I would have stood back, looked at it, I'm like, man, this shit is fucking horrible. You know what I mean? Like, look at it, it's all faded and all of that. Nah, alright. Well, now, fast forward, I'm like, yep, this is just the first layer, the base colors. You know what I mean? I'll get them on there, and then I might go ahead and get them a little bit darker, or I might just start breaking down the tones to build everything up over top of it that way. And then it comes with experience to have an understanding of what you're doing. Even if it's something you've done for the first time, use your experience in life, period. It makes a lot of things simpler to do for the first time. Especially with some knowledge behind it. Now this ain't this ain't tattooing, but you know what I mean? I still have a machine. It's still about pressure, you know what I mean? Distance. And all of that stuff is little staples of tattooing. So I take that, and plus with me painting, like using all different tones and weights of paint, and using my brush sometimes to do dry brushing so I can fade things out. Like it's all the same thing, pressure and distance and all of that, weight. So you start to implement that in little projects that you're doing, and you'll see they don't live too far apart. Alright, one thing I know I gotta do, I gotta give this some time to dry. I'm just going ham, trying to get this shit filled up. I gotta be patient and let it dry. I love the control of this little machine. See, the other ones, the regular ones, the big boys that come with the big compressors, the compressor blows so much air that sometimes it feels like a little bit hard to control. But right off the rip, with this being so light, you know what I mean, it's pushing just enough air to get the job done. And it has two settings of air pressure, so that makes it pretty decent to handle. So yeah, I like it for that reason. The only, like I said earlier, the only thing I don't like about that the um the little airbrush system, the wireless system, is that the battery doesn't last long. Not long enough to do a decent, I mean a long session. It should have them drones, which I know it's going to grow. But like how when they first came out with the wireless tattoo machines, you know what I mean? The rotary machines with the battery packs. Like when they first came out with them, you couldn't get no more than like 2-3 hours on them joints. Now you can get a full session out of one battery, you know what I mean, in most cases. So it's gonna take time. They just coming out like that anyway. Using my heat gun to dry this up so I can go ahead and jump on the next layer. And I love acrylic because it dries so fast. It dry by itself fast. and it's drying even at a faster pace now because I'm using an airbrush versus me hand painting everything and packing it in all at once. So that's pretty good. Make sure it ain't splattering. You're gonna get some good coverage. I'm probably pulling back about probably half the distance that you can pull the trigger on this. So I'm able to get up close and get real close up on the edge of everything without, you know what I mean, it spreading out all crazy. I'm not a, like I said, I keep on making it clear, I'm not an airbrush artist. I don't know the ins and outs of how it's done. I just know I'm an artist, so I wanted to give it a try. My main my main vein of basically how I get my income is through tattoos. That's the main thing that I do. I've been doing that for years, but I wasn't taking it serious though. To be honest about that, I didn't start taking tattooing serious, like really building my craft and you know what I mean, trying to be the best that I can be. Like in the last, probably the last 7 years, I haven't tatted very much in that time. I worked little jobs here and there along the way. A lot of little projects like you see me doing now. So I was doing a lot of stuff like that. I was actually, well, we're talking about in the last 7 years. So I was doing a lot of projects. And I had a job that I actually worked for about 3.5 years. I loved the money. I loved what I was doing, but it still wasn't like when I was doing everything myself. And I started my LLC in 2021, which is Juice Expressions. I started using that name probably 2000, like 2005. Around that time is when I started using Juice Expressions. I have a signature that I put on all of my paintings and all of the art pieces that I've been doing for years. And I was like, man, I do so much stuff. This is like years ago. I've always done a lot of things as far as artsy. And I was like, man, this is how I express myself through art. So like, you know what? I'm gonna start calling myself Juice Expressions, and then it just kept on. You know what I mean? It just stuck. I got work that I did for people over 20 years ago that has that tag on it. You know what I mean? That's that signature on it. And I got some bags made that, you know what I mean? Like I put all my finished stuff in there, and all of them bags got that signature on it. So it'll always be something. And then I made my logo. I also do that, make logos, I make designs, I make sneakers, like hand sewn. It started off with me painting and doing custom sneakers. And I'll tell you, almost all of the stuff that I do, except for tattooing, all of that stuff that I've done like the portfolio of work that I've done, all of it was just because I wanted to. In between that, I would pick up little, you know what I mean, little jobs to do things here and there. But mostly all of this stuff was just because I wanted to. You know what I mean? I had the desire to see if I could do it, and it just became part of my makeup. And let me see, I'll tell you, when it comes to art, there's probably more things. There's, you know how they say, what do you do? And sometimes people say, oh, you be better off asking him, what doesn't he do? It'll make for a shorter conversation. You can get right to the point. You know what I mean? But if you ask him what he does, oh man, we could be here all day and night. Like I'm one of them type people when it comes to creating. I just love to create. Period. I like to challenge myself. If I question if I can, like I wonder if I could do that. Oh, you better believe it's gonna happen. It might not happen right then, but at some point in my life I'm gonna double back and try it. And that's just how I've been like the makeup for me, I guess. I'm always gonna try something you know what I mean, that entices me in one way or another when it comes to art. If I scroll down your feed and I see you doing some art stuff and it intrigues me, I'm probably going to go ahead and try it. I'm not going to say I'm going to take your style, but you know what I mean? I'm going to try it because I want to see, I like it so much, I want to see if I can do it if I wanted to. And then of years of doing that, you know what I mean? You do that kind of stuff, you start to build your own style. You have no choice because you're going to take little pieces of everything that you learned along the way and make it a part of you and what you do. And that's how you get your own style. You take a little bit from here, there, you know what I mean? And you create your own thing. And then now with this AI, with AI, like we don't got nobody got no excuses. I was talking to my cousin last night. He's more like a brother to me. But we was talking last night about music, you know, and how when we was coming up doing music, everything was about being proud, about being you doing all of the work. You doing everything. Yeah, I came up them bars. Nobody helped me come up with none of them bars, no lines. That's all me. That was something, you know what I mean? MCs back in the day. And even now, will pride themselves on. You know what I mean? Now, we got AI and people like, nah, I ain't fucking with that AI shit. Like I want on and it gets too much credit and this and that. I'm like, you retarded for thinking that. All they do is it's a shortcut to take some of the weight off of your plate. It ain't gonna do nothing that you don't tell it to do. So you still, you know what I mean? The thought still gotta come from you. AI ain't gonna just develop what you want just because you thought of it. You gotta give it the information. That's just a shortcut. It's like, you know what I mean, having a secretary or your studio producer. And now you got, instead of having to run around looking for people that play these instruments, you got them right at your fingertip with AI. Instead of running around looking for app developers, you got it right at your fingertip with AI. And as easy as it makes your life, it still comes down to, are you willing to put in the work? Because it's still going to be some uncomfortable times with about that shit. So even as little as it, as light as it is, as easy it is, people still coming up with excuses for why they don't have nothing, why they can't get nowhere. It's the same reason why. It's always been the same reason why. Because you ain't doing shit. You're not putting your best foot forward. You gotta give everything 100. If you're gonna do it, do it. I know you heard that. If you're gonna do it, do it. And don't half-ass do it. To half-ass do it is not getting it done. It's not doing it. You gotta do it all the way. You know what I mean? So if you jump into it, go ahead and just get it done. And AI can help me. I run through AI all the time. All my thoughts, all my creations, because it helps me get somewhere that time can do, but you want it done as soon as possible. At least, you know what I mean, with us living in the world that we live in. And that's, I'm talking about the United States. You have to, you have to still be able to balance out, you know what I mean, like your finances and shit like that. Unfortunately, it's unfair because that has nothing to do with the life that we're supposed to be living. Finances has nothing to do with that. But yeah, we gotta deal with it. It's part of it right now, right? Alright, let's get it, baby. Yeah, I love creating though. It just takes me away from all the bullshit. The bullshit of life. The day-to-day hustle and bustle of life that we seem to be forced to live. You get in a creative place, all of that shit goes away. And I love it. And that's the other thing, like I was saying before, but mostly all of the projects I've done over the years, including this one right here, it wasn't for anybody. Like it wasn't, I wasn't doing it because, you know what I mean, it was a commission on the table. I just did it because I wanted to. And then that should take you back to school days, at least in my school days, when I was in elementary and school and stuff. There was things that teachers said that, you know what I mean, that really stuck. And one of the main things that always stuck with me in life, and it was something I got from elementary school, and they said, when you grow up and you have to get out there, you working and all that, get into the things that you love doing. You know what I mean? Make that your jobs. Or find jobs in the fields of which you love doing. Like things you would do even if you didn't get paid. And most of that are things that we did as kids. So if you're in a place in your life where you just feel like you're lost and you don't know what your next step is, I would advise people to take a minute to go back to their childhood and think about the things that you loved to do then, when you spent most of your time doing then. Like even when you was in school, like I think of that kind of stuff because that's what takes me to art. I was doing art all my life in one way or another. I was in school, teachers is talking, I'm doodling on the notepads and you know what I mean, drawing on the desk and all types of stuff. Like I've done that my whole career of school. Always was doing some kind of art project. But when I got got out of school and I had to do full time in the matrix, you know what I mean, in this world, I didn't have time to do that because I had to start. Now I'm a so-called grown man. I'm out of school. I have to make money now to support my life. When I didn't have to make money, all I worried about was the things that made me feel good because I didn't have to hustle and bustle. My parents did that, you know what I mean, we was kids. So you're not thinking about all that kind of stuff. So you're really searching and you're really finding yourself in the little things that you're doing as a kid growing up. That's who you are. You know what I mean? That's the start of it. But we lose that having to grow up and go to work. And we, you know what I mean? We don't have that sit down time no more. That's the kind of stuff I talk about when I'm talking to my brothers and people who've done time in jail. You know what I mean? Have to sit down and hit that reset button over and over. You know what I mean? So when you ain't got time to sit down, you don't got time to search for yourself and find out the things that you really want to do. All of that sit down time really came naturally as kids. That's when we really had the time to do things like that and enjoy life the way that it's intended to be. But when you take time and you go back to that in your mind of the things you used to enjoy as a kid, then you start to find what it is that you're probably supposed to be really doing because you started off doing it. You just didn't do it for money. You did it because it was something that you grew a passion for. And that's how I found my way. Is I took time to sit down. I was forced to sit down a lot of time, and you know what I mean, some years in my life because of the kind of life that I lived. And when I was forced to sit down, you know what I mean, doing time, then I would plan and I would think and I would think about what I wanted, you know what I mean, because there wasn't no nothing in my way, you know what I mean, that forced me to be in the hustle and bustle. I had to sit down. I was forced to sit down. And when I did that, you know what I mean, I would come up with plans. I would write, you know what I mean, mess with books. You know what I mean, just using my mind and figuring out things that I wanted to do. Then I would come home, and we end up. I'm back in the hustle and bustle because I have to. I gotta survive. I got, you know what I mean, make some money, and then I get sidetracked to, you know what I mean, to things that I really want to be doing, and end up running and, you know what I mean, doing all of that shit. So one of the last times that I got incarcerated, I came home. I think it was 2017. It was like a short, dumbass bit. It was some dumb shit. Um, I made up my mind that I wasn't going to have to sit down in jail or prison anymore for me to be able to focus on what I really wanted to do with my life once I touched back down in the streets. So I said, you know what? Now I'm recognizing that every time I get locked up, I fucking focus in, I come up with a plan and I plan to stick to it. Whether I'm working out or whatever, I stick to the plan. Then when I get out on the streets, I'm not sitting down no more. I'm back into the running, chasing, and all of that shit goes out the window. And the reset button comes again. I say, you know what? I'm not gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna change the way I move when I'm home. So if I'm learning more and I'm gaining more when I'm in jail and I'm sitting down and I'm not chasing nothing, then I need to do that same shit when I get home. Let me stop running around in the streets. You know what I mean? Let me stop hanging out so much. Let me kind of slow up on lusting on these women. I mean, granted, I have a woman, but you know what I mean? We still be lustful. Not saying that we got to do anything, but you know what I mean? We still want to be around. You know what I mean? Females and stuff. At least that's what it was in my life. I still wanted to be around a said, man, let me cool out on all of that and just home in, come up with the plan, and just work this shit. And then that's when everything changed. People was asking my brothers, like, yo, what's up with Juice? We don't even see him out. Like, what's he be on? But I don't know what that nigga's on. He's on some nut shit. You know what I mean? Everybody want to act like, you know what I mean? That's what I be bugging off of the fact that when everybody started on that shit after the pandemic about being outside. Yeah, I'm outside. Yeah, I'm outside. Yeah, you outside, but you running around losing your fucking mind trying to figure out shit. You ain't got no sit down time to really think and get your shit in order. And I did that shit, and I've been on it ever since. I barely go out. When I do go out, I go out with my wife. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, you might see me out with a couple of the homies. Maybe give me a couple drinks or something. But other than that, I'm home because this is where it needs. This is where I need to be for me to grow out. I know what happens when I'm outside. I can't focus. I'm focused on everything outside. That's a bar for you too. You know what I mean? Focus on too much of the outside, you don't know what's going on inside. You're not digging deep enough inside to give yourself a true chance. Too focused on what's going on outside. That's real shit. And I don't like the way that's I splashed the shit up. I splattered that joke. That shit heavy. I told you I ain't no airbrush artist. I'm just an artist. I'm just an artist all around. Period. I am art. I tatted it on my arm. Okay. Okay, Stimpy. Oh, silly ass boy. That's my guy. Stimpy's my guy. Indeed, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I do. I just stay out the way. I get out of my own way by staying out the way. This is gonna be fire when I'm done with it. It better be. I refuse it not to be fired. I worked this joint for a month. I had a cane sticking out that damn far off for this before I would be like, yeah, it's done, and it'd be looking trash. Instead of looking broader. Yeah, so now this is part of my new journey that I'm on now. That's why I've been going live so much. Just want to let people in on the things that I do, trying to inspire people. When we talk about purpose, I think that is everybody's purpose, to inspire one another to do more positive things. As life comes with negative and positive, that's how everything works. But we want to inspire to be on more of the positive side of life in general. And the more that we can spread that, the more things will start to get into balance the way that we would like to see them in this world in general. I was watching a was watching YouTube earlier, and I think it was. Oh yeah, it was Dr. Sebi. I was just watching that before I went live. It was his old documentary. Really, him doing a live discussion. And there was something that he said in there, and it hit home in a real way because it's kind of how I am too. He's like, yeah. He said, me, I don't claim no sides of nothing. I don't even claim to be a man. I'm just a human. I'm a male. I'm a human male. That's all I am. I don't represent nothing outside of that. He said, because when you start to do that, then you divide. You create a division. That's something I always recognized about religion and things like that. Whether it's religion or like, this what we're dealing with now with everybody having their seg cultures and you know what I mean, the what do you call it? Descriptions of who they are and what they represent. But everybody on that. But when you do that, you separate. You cause a division between people. You cause a division between man when you decide to select a side. It's just like some we understand about gangs. That's basically what I'm getting at. But it's in every aspect of life. We're creating gangs, and when you do that, it's automatic. You're automatically creating division. That's like one thing that I stand on heavily, and I know it could cause some problems for me. Is that I don't. I know I'm a black man. I know I'm a black man in America and all that, but and I know I stand on that. You know what I mean? I know who I am, but I know what I am as well. You know what I mean? I know what I am, but I know who I am. I know I'm a black male, and everybody's gonna see that first when they look at me. All right, I know that, but I know I'm a human first and foremost. You know what I mean? That's the first thing that I am. I'm a human being before I make any other decisions on how I'm going to carry it. That's the first thing that needs to be understood. So it doesn't matter. I don't care about if your skin's the same color as mine or if it's the total opposite. I look at you as a human first. I love you for that first and foremost. Now, if you get disrespectful, then we gonna play it. You know what I mean? I'll treat you as so. You know what I mean? Keep my distance from you. You know what I mean? And your type, if you choose to be in certain segues, or like me growing up, I grew up in a Christian home. I was forced to go to church every Sunday, Sunday school, all of that shit was forced to, but it gave me a little bit of we call a little bit of direction. It gave me some kind of direction. Then as I got older, you know what I mean. I had my brother's father was a Muslim, and though I seen it around, I didn't practice it. I didn't have nothing to do with it then. You know what I mean? But it was close to me because of the fact that he was a Muslim. Then my stepfather who raised me, he also was a Muslim. So then I started to tap into it and gain knowledge about it. And I decided to, well, I really didn't decide to take my Shahada, but I did have an understanding of, you know what I mean, to proclaim that, you know what I mean, that Allah was God. And I say it to this day that I was suckered into taking my Shahada. You know what I mean? I was just coming for information. I just thought I was coming for information, and the conversation ended with me taking my Shahada. So I stuck to it though. You know what I mean? I was on the streets. It wasn't something I went to like. I've been in jail before all of that. You know what I mean? Been to jail, seen people. I went to the Juma, would go to Juma, and I would go to church because I was just gaining information. And plus, I didn't want to be in my cell. Let's keep it a beam. So I would go to Juma and the church, and I would gain knowledge from both ends. And then when I came home, that's when I ended up taking my shahada. So it wasn't like, oh, I did it in jail. To, you know what I mean? You know how that shit goes. If you know, you know. But that wasn't my situation in no kind of way. But I did go back to prison after this. So, you know, I carried that card. But the thing that I started to recognize that I didn't like, and it didn't matter. I'm just talking about in general. I didn't have to be Muslim to recognize this. It was just the things that I started recognizing when I just happened to be Muslim. I was like, damn, I fuck with these dudes. Like when I was in the streets, like these was my homies, you know what I mean? And it's like they don't got no card though. They're not Muslim, they not, you know what I mean? They not Christians, they not none of that. They don't got no cards when we're in the streets. We just regular people chilling, this and that. Then you get locked up and you only kind of converse with the people that you fuck with. And I'm like, yo, that's just kind of wild. That's how the world is. You know what I mean? In general, that's just the easier way for me to show you like how we cause division within ourselves by claiming things that we don't need to claim outside of being human. And that's where the division comes from. In my mind, the way I've seen it throughout my life, what my eyes showed me. So I don't get into none of that. Like even now, I respect Muslims, I respect Christians, I respect everybody, just period. As long as you don't disrespect me. I don't care about your opinions on things, that's yours. You know what I mean? Whether you share it or not, it's yours. It can't nobody really change it unless it's something that has some knowledge that you're going to gain out of it. That's the only way your opinion would really change. So I don't get into none of that shit. I don't catch no feelings about what you think about anything, especially when it comes to me. And I'm just like, dog, if you respectable and you trying to build on something, we can build. I don't care what your background is. You know what I mean? I think if we all got on that on that path, then we'll see a whole lot of things turn for the better for us in life in general. Not just as an individual. I'm talking about the human race. And the facts is in everything that we've learned growing up as well. Just think, what's that saying? It takes a village. That shit ain't changed. That ain't changed. It's just the way that they set it up for us to live in this country, because it's not all around the world. Mainly in this country, the way it's set up for us to live here, we we get beside ourselves and think that we can do it ourselves, and we set out to have our own personal goals, and you know what I mean. We start moving away from the family, and that shit don't make nothing. It makes your life harder. You know what I mean? Oh, I just spilled the damn paint all over all damn my damn shorts. But yeah, when you get away, when you move away from the village, and you separate yourself from the village, life can seem like it gets easier at times, but that shit it really be harder because you're forcing yourself to experience things that you don't probably necessarily have to experience because there's ones in the village that can let you know, like, nah, that ain't the route. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. But we get in our own worlds and end up fucked up and wondering why we can't get nothing to go the way we want to, or we do get things to go the way we want to, but it's harder. You know what I mean? But like, yo, I had to work my ass off to get here. Well, you chose to, but you really didn't have to. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so I'm ready to get Ren's skin right. Cause Stimpy's ready. I do that blue again too. But I think I'm gonna do his nose, but I think I might leave the rest kind of faded the way it is because I think it's gonna help build the detail as I start to add more tones. Excuse me, I just had a burp get stuck. You ever have a burp get stuck? That shit make you feel like you get ready to go. Alright, so we got that done. I gotta do his t-shirt still. Which we just gonna wipe that out. Just white his t-shirt out. But then I'm gonna throw little different tones in there. I might get ready to do that now because I got a good bit. I gotta do the eyes. I gotta do his T. I gotta do his eyes. I'm probably gonna I might do this belt, do his belt white. I'm probably gonna even paint all the jewelry white and then build, you know what I mean, build up off of that. Even the zipper on this jacket. Probably do the sneakers white real quick. Let me see. Thinking about redoing the name and everything. Put that on what? You know what? Let me stop thinking. Let me stop all this thinking. Oh shit. All right. I gotta go clean this out. That's the one thing I don't. I never liked. Even the other two times in my life, like I said, this is my third time ever trying to airbrush. First two times was totally failures. But one thing I did notice that I didn't like about this shit is you having to keep cleaning the machine, man. That every time you switch the color, you gotta clean that machine. Unless you try to use colors that are like in the same, you know what I mean, in the same range. So for real, with me thinking in hindsight, I would have, I like I said this already though, but I would have did everything in white. I'd have did the whole entire figures in white, every part of them, totally white. Then I would have built up off of that. So then I would have went from the white, did everything I had to do white, get it all solid, get away from the blue, the different tones in the jacket, cause that's what I'm dealing with now. That's why I'm going to do Renegade, and I gotta do, you know what I mean, these names and stuff. But yeah, if you do it all in white, you can get rid of that problem right off the rip, and you can save yourself some layers as well, because you won't have to build up so much. Because once you get that white on there, everything you lay down is going boom, it's going to pop right away. I already knew that because I paint, you know what I mean? But I didn't take that approach with this, nor did I do it with the anime jeans that I just finished a couple days ago. You can go on my page and check them out if you want to. But yeah, I didn't do it with those neither. So I'm like, damn, I would have. So, like I said, in hindsight, I would have did everything in white, and then from the white, so I won't have to keep on washing out. That's the point that I'm getting to. So I would have did the white, and then from the white, I would have jumped into Ren's face. You know what I mean? I could have just poured that in the white and mix it because it's not going to really dull it down at that much at all. So then I would have did his face with that. Boom, get that out the way, and then so I don't gotta mix again. Then I would have went into, um, I mean I would have did Stimpy's face first. Then I would have went into Ren because as you see, it's going from the white that is going to whatever this color is. What the hell is it anyway? Riviera tan. Oh, I'm bugging. That's Rivera. That's the Riviera. Rivera tan. I never even heard of that. But yeah, so I would have went to the Rivera tan. Then I would have did my little mix that I did to do this. That just added to there, and then did Ren's tone. And then from there, so I would have got to get three pieces done before I even had to worry about cleaning out my brush. And that's what it would have been. And look at me, I'm worried about. So since I'm already here, and I was thinking about that. Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna clean out the brush. I'll be right back. I tell you what, too, something that I just recognized about this too. It's another point, another good point with this little setup. Is it's quick to clean. Damn. You see, I wasn't even going for 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Because I can't, when normally I can't take the airbrush pump with me into the bathroom. You know what I mean? I gotta do everything there. I gotta have this set up there and all of that stuff. I mean, that's cool. But I don't have all of that right now. And this was a quick and easy move. So that's another plus for this. Like I said, the only issue I had with this so far, the only one, is that the battery don't last very long. I don't even know where we're at right now. They do have them where it tells you how much battery power you got remaining too, so that's dope. I didn't get one of those though. And this was just a $20 purchase. All in, I think it was $23 with the taxes and everything. I was like, oh yeah, can't beat that with a back. And you can't beat that with a back. Hold up, I gotta find my. That's that way. What the? Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna do the white. Now it's almost like I get to start over. So it's gonna be the same way that I was saying it. I'm gonna do all of the white. This. Let me get a good bit in there. And then when I get done with the white, I'm just gonna mix some color into there so I can do Ren's tone again. Ooh. Almost played myself. GAC 9. Heat set fabric paint in medium. GAC 900. From Golden. I've had this same bottle for I don't know how many years. It's because I was using it to I don't know why he keep calling me. I know you know I'm probably lying. It's not happening. I don't want to talk right now. I'm talking to my peoples. I don't want to talk right now. I don't want to talk about nothing that ain't got nothing to do with nothing I'm doing right now. just ain't a good habit to have, and then keep on using the same brush to mix up my colors, and I know it puts a little tint to them. So this would definitely probably put a tint on the white, but I don't care because it's going to help bring more detail to what's going on. But an average person would probably just use, I'm doing a t-shirt white. I'm gonna just spray it white. I'm put a little splash of maybe some pink in there. Right now, I don't even worry about it. I'm using whatever's in that mixing brush is going right in this white, and that's going on. Then once I get that layered out everywhere that I'm going to, then I'm gonna throw little tints of another color over top of the white to, bring some details to it and just separate it from, just average shit. Oh, alright, get to it. Do the buckle on this jacket. And the other thing too, with this, you got to have patience. You can't just glob it on there and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this thing white. I'm saying it, but I'm even teaching myself that. You know what I mean? I'm forcing myself to learn that because I want to get it all white right now. Even while I'm talking to you, I know I need to stop, and I'm still like, come on, just get it. Like, nah, just go ahead, get that little base layer on there. You know what I mean? And just keep it moving. Just go in a circle. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, just like, boom, I'm hit that, come down here, I'm gonna hit this, then I'm gonna swing, hit the t-shirt, go, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm just gonna work this way, come back around, and when I get up here, then I'm gonna jump back over here and then hit it again. And just keep doing that and slowly build it up. I'm talking like I know. I'm just saying what makes sense to me. You know what I mean? For me, as far as my process at the moment. Like I said, I'm not an airbrush artist. I'm not. I'm just an artist in general. So I'm learning this right now in real time. I said it's not my first time ever trying it, but now I'm actually giving myself a chance in real time to get it down pat. And see, got that pinky up against the jacket to help me keep my distance. Closer you are, the more concentrated it is, but at the same time, you gotta have the right pressure on the machine because it'll splash it out if you ain't got enough, if you got too much air coming through. I'm just pulling the trigger back. And normally, one thing I do understand about airbrush machines, usually this is from my experience. These are usually double action. So you will push it down and you push it down to get the air to flow out and then you pull it back. You know what I mean? To slowly let the ink come out. You know what I mean? But with this, it's a single action. Like right now the air is blowing constantly, but it's not enough air blowing that's forcing the ink out alone. So it's just a single action pull back to release the ink. And that's cool for me. The less I have to do to get the job done, the better it is for me. So yeah, I'm digging that single action. These are just, I guess I'm doing a review in real time while I'm building with y'all, chopping it up and reviewing this machine. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing that a lot with the channel. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking. I'm trying to get used to talking, period. On these little sites, breaking up the nerves that I have. That's probably why I'm talking so much. Plus, I know it's necessary. mean, I was going to just run my page to where I didn't say nothing. I mean, I wasn't going to talk at all. But it don't feel right. You hear, I might as well let you in on at least the way my mind works. Teresa, you know you're here dealing with. Oh, I'll tell you one thing though, I ain't gonna lie, I'm nauseous. I've been feeling nauseous since I woke up. Like illy nauseous. I'm going through it right now. My stomach is spinning on me while I'm doing this. It might also be the fact that I only eat once a day. I only eat dinner. I don't eat nothing else. I mean, I'm not saying I might not snack here and there. I'm not saying that, but on average, I only eat dinner every day. People like, oh, you bugging. Like, you know we got it. You're supposed to eat 3 times, 3 meals a day. Who said that? Who came up with that? Really want to know who came up with that. That we need to have 3 meals a day. Because I know history tells us the motherfuckers had to hunt their food, and they definitely wasn't getting no 3 meals a day. And they was living for hundreds of years. We eat 3 meals a day and can barely make it to 75, 80 years old. And most of the meals that we're eating is beating on our body anyway. We eating meat. Oh shit, I just got some of this game today. Just in a way, and it just hit me in a different way. It's not like I didn't know the information already, but just the way it was given to me today, I was like, damn, that shit's real. Like we have a diet of blood and starch. That's what our new diet is. We're on blood and starch all day long. And you telling me I need to eat 3 meals a day. I'm gonna pump my body with 3 meals a day full of starch and blood. Because if you eat meat, you eat blood. That's a guarantee. And anything that God didn't make has starch in it. Starch is a man-made thing. I mean, granted, we do have some, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? We have natural things in the earth that is like a natural starch when you combine them that we can use. But other than that, for the most, like potatoes and all that is man-made shit that we've been eating since we've been here in this country anyway. It's just beating us down, slowly but surely. We're not supposed to have that. As humans, we're not supposed to be that. Tell you one thing that just blew my fucking mind. I didn't know that we wasn't supposed to eat lamb. I did not know that. I love lamb. I don't eat pork, but I love lamb. And I've heard that lamb is 10 times worse for you than pork is. And we ain't supposed to eat pork neither. The lamb is 10 times worse for your body than pork is. I said, oh, I believe it. Because I know a lot of people that fuck lamb up. And I know a lot of people with diabetes. I eat lamb like a motherfucker. Not real heavy. I really only eat it when my parents make it. I got it in my freezer right now, but I don't make it though. I know how to. I just don't cook. That's just call it what it is. I stopped cooking since my wife made a deal years ago, and I just stopped cooking ever since. and I can't cook. I think I still can. But yeah, it's like, what? We're not supposed to be eating lamb. I said, as a Muslim, that's one of the main things that we fuck with, or that they fuck with. And I know in my household, because we don't eat pork.
Oh,
Hey, what up, babe? In my household, because we don't eat pork, that's one of the main delicacies. Lamb, goat, you know what I mean? Like all this shit give you diabetes like a motherfucker. Beating you up, clogging your system up and shit. I heard that it drew me for a loop. I said, yeah, I gotta tap in. Yeah, I'm at a point I'm trying to just get my body right, like right. I don't mean like right, like in the sense of yeah, I'm gonna be in the gym now. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. I've been a little dude all my life, not skinny, little but just a little fella. I know I ain't gonna be big. I always knew that. But as far as like healthy wise, like you know what I mean, intake, getting the right intake, the shit that you know what I mean, that I need. I really get into that point in my life. And really just locking in. I had a point where I thought I was locking in, you know, when the big sea moss craze started hitting and all of that shit. I thought got on that boat. I thought that shit was gonna last for the rest of my life. I was on and off of that joint fast. And now I'm like, alright, I need to really focus in and really take care of myself. So I'm trying to clear all this mucus and stuff out of my system. And I'm recognizing even more now. I can't wake up in the morning without my chest and throat feeling weird. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they got that phlegm build up. Like, that shit's deadly. And every time when I think about the teachings and, you know what I mean, my learnings of what I've seen, especially like through Dr. Sebi and stuff, like, everything just made sense. Like, it makes sense. Like, yeah, that's why we be catching all of this stuff because we're not flushing we're not detoxing, we're not, you know what I mean, flushing our systems out like a car. You know what I mean? As long as you're taking care of it the way that you're supposed to, all that bad shit gonna go out the tailpipe. You know what I mean? All that black smoke and soot that build up throughout the engine, it goes out the tailpipe. So if you get some blockage in that system, and there's no way to relieve it, then it's going to cause other blockage and build up throughout the system to where, shit, your fucking engine will go out on you. You know what I mean? There's some other part before it makes it to the engine, if you understand what I'm saying. So, like with a car, you got, you know what I mean? Got to get that oil change. You got to flush it. You got, you know what I mean? The same thing with our bodies. We just keep intaking. We ain't never flushing nothing. We thinking all we gotta do is take a shit and get it out, piss it out. We think that's all we gotta do. Now we gotta really flush our systems. And we got everything we need here on the earth to do it. We don't need no created medicines. We don't need none of that. Everything we need to get through everything we go through in a physical way, or you know what I mean, medically. We got all of that shit right here. live discontinued. You is discontinued due to inactivity. I didn't even see that thing pop up. I hate it.
It just popped up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
cause usually it's a usually it's a like a puzzle I have to do. After like 2 hours, a puzzle pops up. I gotta hit that puzzle so that they know that I'm still active. How does work?
It's alright. Glad it's over.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't want to do shit all day and sure didn't. Is this the remote from upstairs? Or is this your remote? Nope, not the remote for upstairs.
What, you can't find it or something?
No, I just saw it there. So
Oh.
that's why I brought it down.
You happy? You happy? Stop playing with me, boy. Stop playing with me, boy. Don't worry about the overspray. Cause I'm going to redo it anyway. I'm acting now. Look at me. Boy acting now. He acting like he got it. Look at him. Hey, Juice. Let's see you, boy. Do what you do, my boy. Oh, I fucked that up. I got what? Alright, so I was going live already. Oh, I ain't live right now. So I was going live already. I know I'm live on YouTube and Facebook, but the TikTok is the one that be acting up, so I gotta keep that page up. So sorry if anybody is leaving comments that I didn't get to or have any questions I didn't get to yet. I probably had to answer them afterwards, unfortunately. But this is what it's about. It's about the process. It'll get better, you'll see. It's only gonna get better. I'm on that bullshit because I told y'all earlier, but yeah, you gotta let it dry, move around. Look at me, just steady building this shit up. Ain't even letting it breathe. Let it breathe, Juice. Let it breathe. Back up. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. Wait that down here. Get them sneakers built up. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I gotta look into it because I don't know if airbrush artists typically draw anything on their canvas. I think they do damn near everything just with the airbrush, and that's a skill in itself. You gotta have that. You gotta have a real confidence, a real confidence, a strong confident level to really do how airbrush artists do that shit. Cause I don't think I've ever seen them sketch anything out on a t-shirt. They just grab a joint and just be going. What else you said you wanted? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I ain't good. I ain't good. That's like people when I tattoo people. Sometimes people come through, they be like, yo, Juice, I'm trying to get this, that, and the third. Or they be like, I'm like, what you want? Baby, nah, just freestyle. Just, what you mean just freestyle? I ain't just drawing, I'm not just tatting anything on you, man. I've never done it and I never will. Matter of fact, I'm lying. I did do it one time. And it's one of the worst embarrassing pieces that I feel as though I ever did. And he likes it. He's cool with it. We're actually getting ready to do some more work over it. It's done. That shit was done years and years ago. I think it was around when I first started learning how to tattoo. And then my brother go and tell me to freestyle a woman on his back. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that shit. He's like, nah, you nice with the females and shit, cause I draw. I really do draw, and I'm good at doing portrait work just off the top of my head. So he was like, hey, just go ahead and do a female, freak her out. I was like, bro, I'm not trying to just, I'm not trying to just tap on you, bro. I want to draw it out. I want to draw it on you, and he's like, nah, fuck that shit, bro. You got this. All right. To me, I think she looks like hermaphrodite still to this day. She got a patch over her eye and everything. This thing she look like a hermaphrodite pirate. I said, this shit is crazy, but we get ready to do some work over it. Man, that's one of the most embarrassing pieces I've ever did. For me, personally. Like, I do work on people that I don't like at all, but they love it. You know, you get what you want. Get what you ask for. And get it how you ask for it. But I do, sometimes I talk people off of crazy ledges. They come for some weird ass tattoo ideas. I'm like, nah, I can't do that, bro. But we can do something like, you know what I mean? That idea is not gonna work. And it's not gonna come out off of my hand. I love tattooing, but it's not the same as painting or even doing this right here. It's just not the same for me. But I do love it. I love building with people. That's what it is. And doing tattoos is what really helped open me up. I was like kind of in a shell, kind of. But doing tattoos helped me like learn to talk to people and get to know people, especially strangers. Like I came across so many people I've never would have spoke to or never would have talked to me if we just was walking down the street and came across each other's path. But with the value that I can provide, that I provide, it brings, you know what I mean? It brings people around. You know what I mean? I get to meet people, like I said, I would have never even talked to or probably would have never even talked to me if they didn't understand or appreciate the value that I bring with my art. Because for me, it's more about the relationships for me. Like every tattoo that I finish, it does not get finished without me saying, yeah, we did that. Because it's not just me. Like, I need your help. We gotta build. That's just how I am. Like we gotta build in one way or another to get the best result. So we're sitting there chopping it up and laughing, or I'm bugging with you and making you laugh because you're hurting so bad at the time. You're dealing with so much pain, but me being an artist, I understand that, and I see the signs I can bring like a little bit of laughter to it, even when you're going through the pain, like you know what I mean. And then to see the outcome at the end, and the, you know what I mean, the way that you feel about it, like that's just everything to me. It really is. You know what I'm saying? It's not the tattoos. It's not the tattoos. It's not so much. You know what I mean? This stuff. It's not so much the paintings. It's just it's the feedback. You know what I mean? It's the feedback of actually touching somebody. That's what I love about what I do. I got an older brother. This shit fucks me up. I got an older brother. I love him dearly. We met each other when we was 23. He's like 3 months older than me. So we've been building in a lot of different ways. And there was a point when I was first started working in a tattoo shop, and I started getting back into painting. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was something that I did when I was a kid. Got away from it. Got trapped, moving around, doing dumb shit. I started getting visiting painting while I'm waiting for clients to come in the shop and everything. And that sparked everything that you're seeing now. This is 2015, alright? And I really was in the streets most of the time. Not saying I was big or nothing like that. I'm just saying I lived a life, a street life, my whole life, damn near. And then, you know what I mean? I found my way doing art. You know what I mean? I tapped into myself. That's what I mean when I say I found my way. I found my tap into myself. And I remember having a conversation with my brother, and he's like, "Damn, bro, you got your thing. I wish, you know what I mean? I wish I had something. You know what I mean? I wish I could do some of that shit. You know what I mean? So I can find my transition out of the streets." That's what the conversation was about. Transition out. I was like, bro, you probably got this shit in you too. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is just you got enough time that you're sitting around, just go and get you some canvases and shit and just start, you know what I mean, fucking around. He's like, you know what, I think I am. Boom. Took off. He been painting ever since. I don't know what his sales is like, because I know he got a lot of paintings that he did over the years. A lot. So I can't really speak for what his sales is like, but I know he found a way, you know what I mean, outside of the streets. Whether he is still in or not, I don't know. But I know he definitely paints. Right? So now fast forward, I see, you know, he does this little thing for a video popped up on my feed. And it's him, like he's doing like he created a little interview scene or whatever it was. And I'm like, oh hell yeah, I love this shit for bro. Let me go ahead and check it out. See what he's talking about. And it just all goes back to what I'm just coming back to the point of I would do what I do no matter what. With a dollar, for a dollar, and without a dollar. Like I said, this ain't an order. This is just something I felt like doing, and I'm sharing it with y'all the process. That's it, and I'm cool with that. That's the payment. If you appreciate it and you like it, you know what I mean, and it makes you might want to try something. That's my payment right there. That's part of my purpose. You know what I mean? So now, get back to it. I'm watching his interview, and one of the first things he says in an interview says, "Yeah, I got, I got, I got two brothers. I got two brothers that also do art." This is what he said. He said, "I got two brothers that also do art." He said, "They're way better than me." He said, "But I'm more famous than they are from it." I'm like, I was saying to myself, what point is that? Like, is that your flex? Is that what you think is the flex? Is that you You feel, because that's a opinion. That's his own opinion. You feel that you're famous? Who put you there? Who put you in that position to say that? And then I'm not talking about anything that has to do with me. I'm just saying who entitled you that to say that you was famous. You know what I mean? I know he lives in LA. And if that's what makes you famous, because I don't know what it is. I don't even know how that's a flex. Fame is not about shit. All fame is means is that there's more eyes on you. If that's what you want, if that's what you're searching for, if that's what you consider to be a flex, then go for it. But I don't care about that. I care about the connections. That's my point. I'm a connection type of person. I don't care about money, other than the fact that where we're at in this world, we it's a tool that we need to, you know what I mean, build so-called wealth, financial wealth. You ain't gonna be happy off of that. You gonna build financial wealth, and that's about it. I don't care about that shit. I care about relationships. I care about leaving a mark on your heart in one way or another. If you love my artwork that much to where you want to buy it because it makes you feel a way, then yeah, that's what's up. That's dope. But I was going to do it either way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not chasing anything other than gratitude and appreciation. That's what I do. Everything I do for. I just want to be appreciated. You know what I mean? I want to be appreciated, and I want to motivate people. I want to see people doing well. I want to see people doing as well as they think they see me doing. If you caught that. I want to see people doing well. And I want to be a part of that experience if I can. You know what I mean? That's just who I am in general. I'm an artist that cares about people, about humans. I'm an artist that cares in totality about the human race. And if we can connect and I can bring my artistry to you, you know what I mean? Whether it's filling the void in any kind of way, emotionally, in growth, you know what I mean? That I'm happy about that. And I'm going to continue to do that. This is me just showing you that I'm stepping out of my shell and bringing forth some more consistency. You know, I stay active. I stay active. I just want to bring it to the world, man, in a major way, in real time, in real time. I put a post on my, I think, Facebook last night. It was crazy because I forgot about it. I was a little bit turned, but I meant what I said. So I jumped on my Facebook this morning checking out my dashboard, and I seen that I put up a reel last night that I was saying if y'all get, because it was a conversation we was really having, and I was like, you know what, in real time, I'm just gonna do this shit right now. So I jumped on live and I was like, yo, you know what I mean? It's me and Cuzzo, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If we can get 100 likes on this reel, then every week we'll do a podcast episode. So we'll start a podcast and give you a episode every week, and it won't be nothing about anything but like how I'm talking now. You know what I mean? We just gonna share views on this life that we're living in, and our spirit, like trying to navigate through this world in the way that we have to, but still keeping the spirit intact. And that's basically what it's gonna be about. Because for real, that's all we talk about. Anybody who really chops it up with me know, like, when you come around me, we gonna have some. We gonna build. We gonna mainly build in business because I have an automatic mindset for business. I can see $1 in everything. It's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? It's a curse because we shouldn't even have to worry about that, and I'm that locked into it. You know what I mean? That's the curse of it. The gift of it is me being able to see it, and I can see it in other people. You know what I mean? And I can, and also the main part of it that's a gift for me is because me having an understanding of how business works or what can become a good way of business. Now I can lock into doing business and creating time for me to really tap into myself. You know what I mean? Into my spirituality because I'm creating that time by doing business. So we'll be talking about a lot of stuff like about that. You know what I mean? And it's just natural stuff that we do anyway. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Like I'ma always push the art because I do it naturally. I would have did it either way. I don't gotta get paid to do it. But I know I will get paid. Because God gonna see that you have created all of this. He's gonna see that you have what you need. Hey now. How we feeling? Happy feeling. Yo, what up, Jane? My boy Jay, Philly Barber, RC, what up? I don't even know if anybody's in this bitch. To be honest, I'm reading names of people that probably popped in and out already. I'm gonna be different with this because there's still parts of me that is who he is, that it ain't gonna grow probably past that. And I really don't, I'm not really into jumping on here, reading names and saying what's up directly. I want to, but I'm too focused on doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? If you catch a what's up, then that's what's up. Other than that, I'm gonna go, baby. I'm gonna go. Come on, Ren. Come on, Ren. Get that tone right, baby. Come on, Ren. Your turn. Get that tone right. That thing look crazy right now, boy. I think I'm gonna deal with this color right here. This little whip wop right here. Little whip wop. Oh, that's not wet enough. That's what she said. That's what he said to her. That's not wet enough, girl. Oh, stop it. Stop it, Juice. Stop it. Relax, my boy. That's why it be spitting, man. That's what it be, but that sputtering. That's how you say sputter? That thing You ever use a word you ain't never used and you like, what the fuck? Where the fuck that shit come from? And you just worried if you used it right or you even said it right because it ain't even part of your regular vocab. Expeditious. Like, what the fuck? What made me say that? Especially if you use it right. I'll be in my head like, yeah, you did that, dog. You did that. You water whipped the shit out of that sentence, boy. That's how I be thinking when I use words I don't normally use. Like, oh shit, where'd it come from? Alright. Let's see what we got going, Rand. Come on, my boy. Power on. I don't expect to be able to do a whole lot more because I'm telling you, yesterday this joint died so fast. But I've been rocking. This is a new live. My live died on. I mean, it ended on me. So, but I checked my Facebook and YouTube. But I think I've been running this for like almost 3 hours, maybe like 2 hours. And I didn't even get that the first time. So what I'm guessing is that when I got the machine that it needed to be charged. It came with enough power to run, you know what I mean? But it did need to be fully charged. Come on, man. I see you. Look, I just said it, y'all. I literally just said it. I talked that shit into existence in the wrong way. See? So this live's gonna be ending soon. And that's what I don't like. And I ordered last night I ordered a hose so I could hook it up to my power ones. Cause I do have one. Really, me and my wife got a air compressor. She got hers for cakes. And you know, man, I got mine for the art. And plus for I dabble, and I say it very lately. I dabble in jewelry making. I make grills here and there. I've had made grills. So I got the burner, I got all of that stuff, and I got a compressor just for that, for the bubbles when I do the mix for the casting. Damn, this is burnout, bro. This is what I was doing yesterday until it died all the way there. I just kept on hitting the power button when it stopped. Okay, I'm getting all that. And then it's done. Oh, I'm sick, bro. I'm sick. That's as far as I can go for now. And I haven't timed it to see how long it takes for this thing to charge. But I'm guessing it's gonna probably take at least 3 hours. But I don't know, I'll check it and let y'all know. But as far as the machine, like I said again, I like it, but the only downfall for me, I mean, absolutely, the only downfall is the power don't last long. Like I said, if they make them, or they might already have them, but if they make them to where you can keep it plugged in, I love the fact that it's a C charger. You know what I mean? So if they make it to where you can keep it plugged in and it'll stay powered, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They got me for life. And even so, I'll buy like 5 of these shits. $20, $19 for this. Not bad. I buy 5 of them for $100. You heard? Buy 5 of them and keep them all charged and ready to go. Then you get a whole session. For real, I probably spend $200 on these and Now I'm not switching no paint. You know what I mean? I got boom, have like 10 of these joints lined up, all with all of the colors that you need. That'd be fire. For $200, it'd be worth it. Now you can just enter, you know what I mean? Boom, take that out, put it in the other, you know what I mean? Another one, or swap them. So yeah, I think it's a good investment, especially if you're not, if you, like I said, I'm not an airbrush artist, just an artist. Period. That's showing you my process as I am trying to get what I want out of this airbrushing thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm doing things right or wrong, but it just feels right, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Could be better ways of me doing it. I don't know. And just show you my process as I go. If you like that, then you keep hit that follow, like it, and you know what I mean. Stay in the group. But I'm going though. I gotta slide. I gotta do something with myself. Probably go blow something down or something. Hey, y'all be blessed though. You heard? I appreciate your time. But I got to skedaddle. Might be back on later. I don't know. TikTok, I'm going. Hit that like, follow, and subscribe if you want to. Let me see. Now I gotta jump over. See, I run my OBS for Facebook and YouTube. Hey, and then I run. Oh, so I've been only on for about 2 hours. That's decent. And then I run TikTok by